kind of worried about the longevity of Detective Lance?
Say that again?
The shaved head, we're worried about the longevity of Detective Lance.
We're worried about the longevity of his hair, I think is what we're more concerned about. No, I just shaved my hair off at the end of the season when we wrapped, just to have a little change. And then I thought, well, I guess I'll be growing it back again. That'll be my hiatus project, grow hair back. And then I had lunch with Mark Guggenheim and Andrew Kreisberg, the producers, and I hadn't even sat down at the table. I was still walking across the restaurant. They went, "Oh my God, we love the hair. Will you keep it for season 3?" I was like, yeah. And then, as is the way in these Hollywood restaurants, the number 2 at CW was sitting over there, Tom Sherman, and he's like, "Yeah, I like it. I think it's great. Let's just run it by a few other people." And so I thought, well, okay, we'll keep the hair. Then I had to find a way to make sure that it was something that Lance would do, because we can't just have our own personal vanities coming in, getting in the way of our characters. So I did find a way. A lot of the issues, a lot of the themes in this season is identity, you know, and everybody's facing their having a good sort of look at themselves, you know, who am I, and Lance has gone through a big change, in that he's obviously had this massive injury, huge recovery time, he's come out of it. The only way back into the police force is on a more administrative sort of level, a higher ranking level, and that's the job that they'll give him, and he can't really run around with the boys anymore, do you know what I mean? It's time to go to coach from player, and in my mind, I just imagine Lance has just sat there in the midst of, you know, a long recovery, just like, you know what, I don't know who I am anymore. And maybe if I shave my hair, it made me look younger, and I can't run around with the boys. That wasn't the reason. But yeah, I think it's just one of those purging sort of like weird moments of just like, who the hell am I, you know? And trying to come to terms with that. So, great thing about these shows as they go on, you know, now we get to 3rd season, you know, the layers just get thicker and thicker and deeper, and it's nice to mess around with, you know, from an acting point of view, and sort of justify that and find that truth in it all. So yeah, it's good actually, it's nice.
I'm sure you know that with shows like this, usually when you get to like a character like this, that's usually when the producers decide to take him away from the fans and kill him off. And there was definitely a point towards the end of last season where it's like, oh man, Lance is in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever get that impression, or you were worried about, you know, when you get your next script, you're like, is this the time that they're
yeah. The end. There we are. I'm still in it. Yeah, you know, I mean, TV, I mean, here's the thing, this television show is obviously all about high stakes and, you know, people almost dying every other second and all the rest of it, and if someone doesn't die every so often, it all becomes a bit boring. So you've got to have those sort of high profile casualties at time. Obviously we've had them in season 1 and season 2. And it can't just be the guest star, you know, the whole time, or the recurring character the whole time. So one's fully aware that, you know, anybody could be next in this situation. But you know what? Life is life, and if you're dead in a TV show or you're alive in a TV show, you're just grateful for having it while you have it, and just sort of get on with it, really, and you know, just whatever happens. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to think. Oh, season 3. Okay, still hanging into season 3. So yeah, I think there's probably only one safe character on this show, right? Yeah. I think he carries an arrow around, an archery kind of guy. Yeah, and it's, you know, it's tough as well. You know, seeing Colin Donnell go in the 1st season, it's a great guy. Susanna Thompson, you know, it's like, really? But it's storytelling, isn't it? And there's got to be some stakes. So yeah. Well, he's still got that one, the arrow phone from the 1st season. I think he probably needs to update it now. It's probably on an old operating system now, but probably doesn't even work anymore. No, he not so much the desk phone, no, the red flashing light. Yeah, no, he's still hanging on to that old arrow phone from season 1.
Well, you've got, of course, 2 actively involved daughters in this arrow world.
Yes.
And that's got to be a little bit graying his hair, but I think that's why I shaved his head.
Yeah, well, I know, you see, lose the grey hairs.
But I know, he didn't lay down the law saying you couldn't do these things anymore. I mean, obviously Sarah's uncontrollable, and now Laurel's proving to be a bit uncontrollable as well, and trying to be active in that world of vigilantes.
Yeah, well, it's a neurotic sort of moment for him, isn't it? Because, you know, he fights for the city, risks his life every day, and now he sees, you know, initially Sarah in her very active sort of role of how she goes about it. You know, and he doesn't want to see his daughter out there. And one of my favourite moments was when she threw the guy out the window, and it's just like, you know, I know what you do, but you don't need to throw the guy out the window. You know what I mean? Just please, you're doing good, but just calm down a little bit, you know. And I love that sort of neurosis of him knowing that she's doing the right thing, but not like that, please. So that was a kind of a fun thing to sort of a fun element. And of course, Kate Cassidy's character, you know, Laurel Lance. Well, goodness knows what she's about to get up to, but you just get back to the law, please. Just you're the book one, you know, not the run around and throwing guys out the window one. So, yeah, I guess I'll have to reconcile whatever it is, because ultimately, you know, they're all doing good by the city, so that's what he cares about. But it's kind of frustrating when it means they might do themselves a little bit of self-harm. It's an interesting question. It's quite challenging as to keeping any character sort of alive and breathing over a long period of time is quite challenging, and you have to be careful not to just sort of fall into what you've done already. But at the same time, because it's going on and because of the great writing that we have, so much does happen that you can sort of throw back into the character and build him back up again, build more layers, more psychology, more neurosis, more conflict, You know, at the same time that stuff is coming in for you to play around with. But you have to sort of be disciplined to sort of, you know, make sure you keep at that, because it's very easy to just sort of rest on your laurels and be like, well, that's Lance, but, you know, we all change as human beings, don't we? And especially when certain things happen to us. Obviously, a million things happen a minute at Starling City, which is probably going to accelerate the change somewhat. But you have to keep on top of not just sort of resting on your laurels with, oh, I know the characters. It's like, no, there's more to this guy. There's always going to be more to him. But like I said, with the writing they offer us, you know, that they give us, it's there to be seen what there is going on. So it's great, actually. It's nice. It's nice to get the opportunity to keep sprucing up the character, building him up.
See him interact more with Malcolm Merlin. It seems like they would naturally.
I'm not doing any scenes with John Barrowman. I know, don't get too close to that guy.